Today, December 16th, Steven Spielberg's highly anticipated film, Disclosure Day, has finally released a trailer. This video is a critical response and commentary on the Disclosure Day trailer. Let's just dive right into it.
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Right off the bat, I like this framing because we have not traversed into a post-disclosure world. We are still very firmly in a pre-disclosure world. As former Colonel Carl Nell stated so eloquently in the ISALT conference a few years ago, there's a big difference between belief and knowledge. And right now, we debate whether the phenomenon even exists. Our institutions ignore the phenomenon, and very few people engage this topic on a substantial level. And so right off the bat, with the trailer, it says, if you knew we were not alone, if someone proved this to you, showed this to you, would it frighten you? I like that because we do not, at this point, know how humanity would respond to disclosure because we have not yet had smoking gun evidence emerge in this world. And the moment that we do, the whole conversation will change, not only irrevocably, but fundamentally.
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today is today's.
So this looks like a weather report from a meteorologist, and the implication seems to be that there's something interfering with her presentation, seemingly taking her over, influencing, controlling even what she's saying. It almost feels like she's trying to prevent it from happening, but cannot. And if you paid close attention, you would see people watching this broadcast from various different places. There was someone with a phone in a field watching on their flip phone. There was another location that looked like an office building or library, so a bunch of people watching the broadcast there. There were people in an airplane watching the broadcast. And then there were people in some kind of room that were all nuns watching the broadcast, which might be alluding to how this disclosure will impact religion. I don't know why they're all watching it in unison, but the indication is people from all over the world are watching it. And maybe this has something to do with something shared later in the trailer regarding 7 billion people learning simultaneously that we are not alone in the universe.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm gonna show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
So I like where he says, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And for me, that's an allusion to the pre-disclosure world, the world that we're in right now. The reason there's a debate, the reason our institutions, scientific, universities, and others ignore this topic is because they need to be shown. Not just hearing from experiencers, not just watching documentaries, not just reading books, not just watching YouTube videos. They need to be shown in a scientific epistemological level. Because without that, you do not have disclosure. You just have more of the same, which is not disclosure. And so I really like that. You won't believe it unless I show you. Exactly. That's what disclosure is. That's the paradigm shift. The world does not change in reference to this UAP topic until that day dawns. It's not clear how this individual is going to engage the process of full disclosure for the entire world. except for the hint that we got earlier in the trailer where this woman seemed to be taken over by something outside of herself. And people from all over the world, as it appears, are watching the broadcast. Now, interestingly, I think it was just B-roll. It was separate from the guy saying that he's going to disclose this all 7 billion people. There was this individual sitting in a chair. He had probes on his forehead. He had something on his teeth. And I was wondering about that. It seemed like that's an allusion to using some kind of interface to engage with the phenomenon. Lester Nair had the same idea. He wrote, "The inclusion of a brain-computer interface as a contact modality in the Disclosure Day trailer is very intriguing." So if 7 billion people are going to get disclosed to simultaneously, then obviously you don't need anyone in using this kind of interface. So it seems to me that's going to be something in addition to however disclosure is going to take place in this film.
Why would he make such a vast universe?
So there's a nun. She says, why would they make such a vast universe? And then after the clip that I played, then she says, and just save it for us. So obviously they are referencing the size of the universe and the idea that we're alone. It would seem to be a great waste of space and potential. And you'll notice in the scene I just played, there was a little girl in her bed, and then there was a reindeer and a bird. And there's other parts of the trailer where you see reindeers, and it seems like somehow these creatures, these animals, are playing a role in this film. I don't know how. We can only speculate, but that might allude to some kind of high strangeness. It does seem like this film is going to incorporate high strangeness, and not just nuts and bolts realities of non-human intelligences. That was my analysis of the film's trailer. Now I want to go into what I hope this film will accomplish. It gets released on June 12th, which is actually a day that is the World Disclosure Day. I don't know who instituted that, but it is the World Disclosure Day, even though we haven't had disclosure yet. So the first thing that I want this film to accomplish is I want it to build and further awareness of disclosure itself, the necessity of someone releasing smoking gun evidence into the world if indeed we are not alone. And I hope it puts more eyes on the phenomena itself, the secrecy of the phenomena, the worldwide cover-up, and helps to further the conversation on this topic. I do not think this film is some kind of like plan by the US government or anybody else to disclose. I just think it's a film on the topic. That said, it is a sign of this topic becoming more predominant in the zeitgeist. Certainly not predominant enough because we live in a pre-disclosure world, but it's still a sign that the UAP UFO topic has become more predominant. And the fact that Steven Spielberg is titling his film with the word disclosure in it is very telling. So that's about it. I will watch Disclosure Day when it comes out and let you know what I think. This is going to be fun, and I'll see you in the next episode.